What's this? Henry Cavill quits The Witcher due to Superman? Or... Yeah. Well, this is one of those things where I'll just go ahead and give you the conclusion. Two things can be true. So anyway, here's Forbes weighing in on this. And so Henry Cavill's Witcher exit. Superman related or show problems? Because some of this business about the show problems, heard about that a little earlier, that Henry was quite the stickler for details of the source material of The Witcher. So, which makes sense, because when you take a property and you're going to adapt it for film or TV, you take it for that brand name. The Witcher is born out of this Polish folklore and all that stuff. And you had the books, and then you had very popular video games. So you have a fan base already built in for it. And that's the draw for anyone to say, hey, we could make a popular film or TV show out of this. And that's the whole point of that. That's why Disney bought Star Wars. It doesn't explain why they destroyed it. So when you come in and then you just, I'm smarter than the source material and I'm going to make it better. I'm going to fix its problems. You got a bunch of people on staff that don't respect this thing. So that's the deal. Well, what's the evidence here? Well, you would hear things about, Henry's such a stickler for detail on the character and whatnot. And that he wanted to stay true to the books and that sort of thing. So there's a quote for him. As far as the preparation goes, coming into this, I wanted the character to have a closer relationship to the character in the books. I wanted him to be more book accurate. And so it was more to do with making sure and campaigning for him to sound more intellectual, more philosophical, and to have an emotional side as well, rather than just be a grumpy snowman. Every day I was pushing this stuff as far as prep goes. At the present, he can be a little uncommunicative, and I'm obviously working on that. Well, that's just Henry, and all that sort of thing. But then, wait, here comes Bo DeMayo, who was a former producer on the show. Gee, I wonder why he's gone. Oh, well, apparently he said, I've been on, I guess they mean the show, or a show. Okay. I've been on a show, namely Witcher, where some of the writers were not, or actively disliked the books and games and actively mocked the source material. It's a recipe for disaster and bad morale. Fandom as a litmus test checks egos and makes all the long nights worth it. You have to respect the work before you're allowed to add to its legacy. Yeah. You didn't have to be fans, though. You didn't have to be like Henry, a total fanboy for the series or anything like that. But you did have to respect it because that's what you're hired to do. You're paid to make the show work. And it's based on source material that already worked. So when you deviate from that deliberately, out of disrespect and just want to slap job stuff and poop on it, don't be surprised when it all goes belly up. So that's the deal. A professional who knew nothing of Witcher would come in and study this. Probably read the books. Maybe even play the video games. But that's what you do. I always go back to the example of Wrath of Khan, where you had these guys come in, didn't know jack squat about Star Trek. But they were hired to do, can you guess? Yeah, they were hired to do Star Trek. So they thought, hey, I better study up on Star Trek. You know, they don't come into it and say, yeah, well, I'd rather it be Star Wars. Well, it's not. You know, can't do that. But that's what happens a lot these days, you know. So Henry's saying, well, that's not what the character is. There was some story that, the death of, Geralt's horse, and they wanted to make it like a comedy routine or something. And he was like, well, no, that's not how this character would react. to the death of his horse. And I said, oh, Henry's being a problem and all that sort of thing. But that's like, Luke Skywalker wouldn't suddenly become a guy who would consider murdering his nephew and then run away and hide like a coward. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, you got to know the characters in the story. That's part of the job. You don't just sit around, I'm better than everyone else and all that. So, trying to hold on to the role and the paycheck. It was probably, and then he gets this deal back. It's like, you know what? I'm gone. Now, maybe this could also be, like I said, it could be too good true. It's just too much of a hassle, and why continue that headache? And especially since it's not going anywhere. And hopefully the new pitch for Superman that they brought him in on, you know what? That's pretty damn good. So he's getting hopefully, more accurate Superman than he ever would have gotten with The Witcher now. So, it's just everything's all good. And so he drops it. There's nothing on poor Thor's baby brother, Liam Hemsworth. That's live in the shadow of Thor. And now he loses. And he's going to lose out to Superman because everybody wants Superman in the role. And then wasn't he Mr. Miley Cyrus for a while or something like that? I can't remember. Poor guy, I mean, look, he's an actor. He needs work. The opportunity happens. He takes it. I perfectly understand that. And it's not on him, But I think this show is done. I like The Witcher. I knew nothing. I still know nothing of the books and the video games. So season 2 didn't bother me as much, but I could see that certainly it was not as good as the first one. And it's called The Witcher. You got to have, The Witcher in it. So I don't know what season 3 is going to be, but considering that Cavill has decided it's best to leave it, probably is not going to be all that, But you get one more season of Cavill in the role, and then that's it. Yeah. But the ultimate lesson here, as far as this story goes, because there is some truth to it, whether it was a major part of his decision to leave, I guess we'll never really know. But obviously, this sort of thing did occur, and you hear a lot about this on all the Marvel shows and stuff like that. No respect whatsoever for any of it, just blatant laziness on this sort of thing, and no professionalism, none. It's like an element of a bygone era, Well, it needs to come back if you want an audience for your show.